Hello, NFFE-IAM members. I'm Randy Irwin, National President of your union, the National Federation of Federal Employees, proud affiliate of the IAM. As you know, 2025 was an incredibly challenging year for our union and for federal workers all across the country. That being said, I am so incredibly proud of how NFFE-IAM members from all across the country stood strong and endured through significant adversity. As a union, we collectively took every opportunity to fight on behalf of our members against the truly unprecedented threats that federal workers faced. Despite it being a tough year, we earned some significant victories last year, and we are well positioned to continue our success in key areas in this year, 2026. Today, I want to talk about three key areas where NFFE had success last year. First is in the courts. Second, on Capitol Hill. And third, all across the country, growing our membership through organizing and recruitment. First, let's start with our successes in the courts. Thanks to NFFE's legal team, at the beginning of the year, 2025, we slowed down the DOGE, the Axe campaign, by limiting their access to federal employees' records and American taxpayer data, saving countless federal jobs. We also prevented the total dismantling of federal agencies like the Minority Business Development Agency and the National Institute for the Occupational Safety and Health. Our advocacy helped to save jobs of our members and of other federal employees across the country, allowing their critical work to continue. We filed numerous lawsuits and grievances related to the Trump administration's efforts to senselessly fire workers and strip them of their rights. We are plaintiffs in several ongoing lawsuits where we won injunctions to protect our members' rights. In virtually all cases, the Trump administration has appealed those decisions, and the cases are working their way through the legal process. These lawsuits include matters such as the rescission of collective bargaining rights, the mass termination of probationary employees, the awful deferred resignation program, and the further dismantling of agencies through reductions in force or RIFs. NFFE continues to represent our members in numerous arbitrations, grievances, unfair labor practices, and in matters before the FLRA, the NLRB, EEOC, and MSPB. We are also opposing the administration's proposed rules and regulations that would limit federal employee rights by engaging in the administrative process. I am so proud of our legal team's ability to compete and win at the highest level when it comes to defending the rights and jobs of NFFE-IAM members. I look forward to more victories in the courts in 2026, and we're well positioned to do it. Let's talk about our successes on Capitol Hill. NFFE worked with lawmakers from both parties to make considerable progress on critical legislation last year, despite an extremely partisan and gridlocked Congress. Early last year, we permanently secured significant pay increases for federal wildland firefighters, the culmination of a multi-year battle that could not have happened without the incredible advocacy of our members. Since last spring, we have been advancing the Protect America's Workforce Act, legislation to restore collective bargaining rights for over 1 million federal employees. NFFE was a key player in getting that bill introduced, then passed by the House of Representatives, and passed with a broad bipartisan majority, which was deemed historic by many. Because of our commitment to working with members across the aisle from both parties who support federal workers, we are making real progress in the Senate on that critical piece of legislation. In July, we worked with Congress to strip proposals in funding bills that would have drastically weakened civil service protections, including a massive FERS contribution hike, which would have been terrible, forced at-will employment, MSPB filing fees, pension cuts, taxes on union dues, and presidential authority to reorganize federal agencies without any oversight. Beating these attacks was an enormous victory for federal employees and our union. In September, during the government shutdown, NFFE worked with Congress every day to reopen the government and ensured that the eventual funding bill included provisions to reverse all RIFs implemented during the shutdowns and guaranteed full back pay for every federal employee affected. This applies to any possible shutdowns that might occur in fiscal year 2026 as well. This was a huge victory for federal employees and our union. Through NFFE's Action Network, members sent thousands and thousands of letters to Congress opposing attacks on the civil service and other matters. This is the highest level of participation in NFFE history through our Action Network. Thank you for all who participated in that this year, making calls and sending letters. Now I'd like to talk about organizing and recruitment, the lifeblood of our union. Building on our organizing successes over the last several years, we also saw tremendous organizing success in 2025. Our union continued progress of organizing workers at a myriad of federal agencies. For example, we had tremendous success in federal land management agencies, including successful organizing in several national forests and other Forest Service workplaces, as well as very high-profile election wins at national parks such as Yosemite, Sequoia, and Kings Canyon. We also organized approximately 20 science centers and other groups of the U.S. Geological Survey. Finally, we organized 2 groups in the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration. Overall, of all our efforts last year, NFFE organized approximately 65 new workplaces in 2025, the highest number of new unit organizing wins for our union in a single year in decades, and one of the highest across the country for any union. Although certain agencies were prohibited from deducting dues from their paychecks last year, thousands of NFFE-IAM members converted to NFFE dues, safeguarding their union representation and membership status. Thank you to all our leaders within the VA, DOD, Passport, GSA, BLM, and other affected federal agencies who have stepped up to ensure that your local remains strong and active by encouraging members to convert to NFFE dues. Before I wrap up, I want to give a big thank you to all of our brothers and sisters at the IAM. The IAM union has had our backs 6 ways to Sunday during these challenging times, and were instrumental in many of our key victories in 2025. Thank you, IAM Union, for all you do for NFFE and federal employees. Finally, I want to thank you all of our dues-paying members who make everything we do possible. Whether you are an experienced, longtime NFFE leader or a brand new dues-paying member, your support and engagement is critical to what we are trying to accomplish together. Our dedicated membership allows us to fight and win in the courts, in Congress, at the bargaining table, and in lots of other areas. I have no doubt that this year will bring new challenges, but together, standing in solidarity, we will persevere and continue to provide critical services on which the American people rely. And we're so proud of the work that everybody does in the federal government. So thank you, NFFE-IAM members, for all you do. And remember, we work for America every day.